Aquaman first appeared in More Fun Comics issue 73 in 1941. Being a character from the Golden Age, he's been subjected to some serious retconning over the years, beyond just his origin story. Arthur Curry has had a slew of fascinating abilities. He's been influenced by magic, he's been so powerful that he was a borderline god, and a lot of people still assume that he can have chats with fish. Just not right. So today we're diving into the Atlanteans' history with our list of the top 10 superpowers you didn't know Aquaman had, and yes, that pun was fully intended. Some of these abilities have been retconned since, while others have stuck with him from his conception. So with that in mind, let's get to it. Starting us off in at number 10, telepathy. This is a power I'm sure many of you are aware of, but we wanted to put it on our list in order to clear up some common misconceptions about the Atlantean superhero. You know the one. Aquaman talks to fish. Lols, how funny, what a goofy guy, he talks to fish. Now despite the New 52's wonderful retaliation to this, it's still a common myth that Arthur Curry can have long conversations with fish. He's not the deep friends. Perhaps the New 52 description is best. When criticized for ordering fish and chips at a diner, Arthur has to explain to common folk that he doesn't talk to fish. Instead, he says he reaches into their midbrains and telepathically pushes them to help him out, with the exception of dolphins who have more sophisticated brains. He also vaguely alludes to his financial situation in the same diner conversation, in case you were wondering about that. This telepathy does not extend past aquatic life though, or rather has the biggest impact on aquatic life, and is largely considered to be aqua telepathy. In at number 9, heat resistance. Thanks to his superhuman Atlantean physiology, Aquaman is capable of withstanding extreme amounts of heat. His skin is heat resistant. High temperatures that would be fatal to humans are not fatal to him. This even extends to powerful energy blasts, having withstood blasts from Black Manta, Amazo, and even Superman himself. That's hot. This isn't the only kind of resistance his body has depicted. He can swim in the depths of the ocean without being affected by the pressure, and can do it while swimming at incredibly fast speeds. Dude is durable. Up next at number 8, he can create ice. So this is kinda obvious when you think about it in a weird, skewed way. When in the vicinity of water, Aquaman is capable of freezing large portions of it if he wills so. But this is not something that he can do on his lonesome. It's thanks to his Trident of Poseidon. The Trident allows for him to project and control ice. Now when in water, he can freeze his opponent solid if need be. The full scope of this ability is not entirely clear, although some believe that in theory, he was capable of freezing massive portions of the ocean via this nifty little trick. Nowadays though, this power is not one that he possesses anymore. The Trident temporarily served as an extension of Poseidon's powers, in a similar way to how Wonder Woman has been given godly powers for brief periods of time too. Like that whole Ares power thing? Yeah. Retcons! And at number 7, night vision. Arthur has night vision. This is something that comes with his Atlantean physiology. All Atlanteans have heightened senses, and thanks to living underwater and being in the depths of the ocean, being able to see in utter darkness is kind of a must. Aside from traversing areas of the ocean where the sun don't shine, Aquaman has used this trick to aid in battling sea creatures who inhabit the bottom of the ocean floor. And this even comes in handy occasionally when he's fighting foes on land. Can't lurk in the shadows with this guy. He'll spot you. And at number 6, sonar. This one kinda goes hand in hand with his aqua telepathy. Aquaman has a sonar sense, echolocation, that allows him to use high-pitched frequencies in order to locate objects and living beings within his vicinity. He can also pick up on the frequencies of other life forms. This allows him to create a mental map of the ocean, and lets him remain aware of what or who is in his underwater territory or nearby vicinity. It's an incredibly useful tool in his arsenal. Many believe this trait is thanks to the fact that sea life, the likes of dolphins, use echolocation. It makes sense that Aquaman, the dweller of the depths, would have a similar ability. Creative inspiration. 8 at 5, superhuman jumping. We once did a list on this channel that was top 10 superheroes who could jump. I can't remember if Aquaman made the cut, but thinking about it now, he probably should have. This is a fun list. When it comes to Aquaman, superhuman jumping is probably not a talent of his that immediately comes to mind. Not to be mistaken with flying, an ability of his that occasionally pops up and is occasionally retconned, Arthur is capable of leaping massive heights into the air, jumping 4 or 5 stories high with complete ease. He can cross whole cities with just a handful of leaps. It's definitely not a power that we see a lot of, although many fans feel that it is a nice power that gives him the ability to cross distances quickly without having to fly. Regardless, it is pretty impressive. Moving on to number 4, teleportation. Aquaman's trident can do a lot, or at least a lot more than turn things into ice and stab foes. It's got 3 pointy ends. The Trident of Poseidon also allows Arthur to teleport. In the 2015 New 52 Aquaman series in issue 40, the Trident's abilities were expanded upon, with teleportation being added to its roster by issue 42. This ability grants him the power to teleport himself globally and interplanetary distances using water as a medium. In at number 3, the Clear. This is a power of Aquaman's that has been retconned over the years, but it's still fascinating and worth mentioning nonetheless. The Clear is not dissimilar to the Green, the force that connects all plant life that characters like Swamp Thing or Poison Ivy are connected to. Or actually kinda like the Force in Star Wars too. Sort of. The Clear, though, is a link between all ocean life in the entire universe, and you bet your butt that Arthur Curry has a deep link to it. It expands his ability to communicate telepathically with aquatic life on a massive scale, connecting to thousands of marine life forms all at once. Impressive, isn't it? But a little OP, which makes sense as to why it's been phased out of his character's history. Moving on to number 2, Water Wraith. In the JLA, the Obsidian Age story arc, Aquaman had a bit of a strange period where he was transformed into a water wraith by Zatanna in order to save Atlantis. She challenged his consciousness into the ocean. Basically, he became a living body of water. This form gave him the ability to control all of the oceans on the planet, and gave him such a powerful level of hydrokinesis that he was practically a god. Move over, Poseidon. Since that storyline, we haven't seen Aquaman in this form though. It's probably for the best. He was a bit of a dick at the time. Besides, the storyline was kind of convoluted anyway, so. And finally, in our number 1 spot, Limited Weather Manipulation. This is a power of Aquaman's that has varied over the years. Remember that time that Aquaman lost his hand? In the aftermath of that, he was granted a magical water hand, called the Water Bearer Hand, and it was from a mysterious character called Lady of the Lake. Fun. This allowed him to use something called hydrokinesis, which we've kind of talked about a bit before. It's Arthur's ability to manipulate water, and it's actually something that his wife Mira is more known for in comparison. Now, Arthur could create and manipulate tidal waves at will when he had this power. It was eventually retconned, but later replaced with something slightly different. In the New 52, his trident can summon tsunamis, call down thunder and lightning, and as we mentioned earlier, can project and control ice. It can also move land masses, so lots of environmental stuff going on here, friends. Alright, there we have it. What powers of Aquaman's have shocked or confused you over the years? Were you a fan of his water bearer hand era? Give us a shout in those comments below and share your thoughts and feels with us. If you guys like this video, please spread the love and hit that thumbs up button. And hey, if you haven't already, why not become a part of the Nerd Squad and subscribe? We'd love it if you stuck around some more. In the meantime, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.